Hello everybody and welcome to another Ogre cast. I am Ogre and I will be leading you through this commentary of StarCraft 2. It's a game between Shadowsbane and Zoku, who are some fairly talented StarCraft players. They're not pros or anything, but you see some decent level play in this game. Up until now I've only really cast my friend Latimir's games, and he plays a lot of Zerg, so this is going to give me a chance to cast a game of Protoss, which is actually the race that I'm most familiar with. I play Protoss more often than not, and I am going to speed it up a little bit from the start. I'm not a huge fan of just watching the first supply depots and scouts go out, so just put this at about 4x and let it carry through. Yeah, standard scouting going on. It's taking these guys a little while to find the actual front bases, so by the time they get there, there's actually going to be something to scout, which is a positive, I would say. And here's the little probe. It's going to finally start heading towards Zoku's base. Zoku has a SCV in here. He sees a double gateway and a cyber core up. Probably feeling okay about having one marauder out. His timing is on. I mean, that marauder is going to take care of any zealots that come through, so pretty good defense for Zoku. He can pretty much count on his defense being solid enough that he could send out an early push. That's the one thing about Protoss versus Terran, is that, you know, it's pretty rough for zealots to have to bust down these opening supply depots and barracks with marauders taking pot shots at them, because marauders do some significant damage to these early gateway units. Had a scan go down. He's not going to see anything besides the two gateways and the cyber core. And Shadowsbane is going for an early expansion. I particularly like that. I mean, if you look at how many probes he's got going on here, I find one of the better parts of Shadowsbane's strategy is that he'll pump probes non-stop. And right now he's supply blocked, but he's taking care of that okay. Marauder takes out a probe that was at this watchtower, so map control, at least on the left side of the map, is finally back in Zoku's hands. Shadowsbane takes this tower near his base with a stalker, which is always better than a probe, because at least a stalker can fight, you know, a marine off or something like that. Not too many units in for Shadowsbane quite yet. We got 3 marauders. Let's check out the army tab here. So we got 600 minerals worth of army for Zoku, and 675 now. I guess a couple more stalkers just popped out, so the armies are staying pretty even despite the income advantage, slight income advantage for Shadowsbane. Like, look at that, 31 probes to 20 SCVs right now, so over the long run that is definitely going to be a big advantage. And this is why the incomes are pretty even right now. Shadowsbane has got quite a few probes just sitting there minding their own business, a little bit lazy. They're lazy peons, I suppose. And here comes the first push from Zoku. I like that the scan goes down so he can see how many stalkers are shooting him from above. He knows he's not going to win that battle, because that scan's not going to be up long enough for these marauders to do any serious damage. And a good way to hold off for Shadowsbane, like having these stalkers up here on the high ground, is always a plus, and it's how any Protoss should probably defend this curve in the early game. A couple Marines coming over, some more Marines and Marauder, and for some reason an SCV. And Shadowsbane is now able to pump out a few more units. He's got these probes mining, which is definitely, he's going to be pulling ahead in the income tab now. Yeah, look at that, 1,000 over 660. So that is a significant income advantage for Shadowsbane. And you're going to see that that's kind of a recurring theme. Zoku, he's getting his second base up, which is a plus for him, and he's called down at least one mule, but he's spent a couple of scans already, and you know, that's just a couple more mules he could have had. Like, you know, one of those scans was good, but I mean, I think he's probably burning a few too many scans for early game. You know, he had a half decent scout on. I think he should have known that there was an early expansion going. Nice little push in here, and you'll see Shadowsbane, like, he's only got one stalker and one sentry up on the high ground. It's a good idea to put that cannon up there, but if it gets shot down, that's a waste of 150 minerals. So Zoku probably really should have focused that cannon down while it was just being placed. It's a decent amount of marauders against a decent amount of stalkers. I think Shadowsbane is going to be able to hold us off with some half-decent focus fire, and yeah, like he's taking them out pretty well. I don't even know if Zoku was focus firing at all there, which is bad micro. So Shadowsbane didn't have to do too much to hold that off. And now the problem is Zoku has like no army left. That was his entire army. So if I was Shadowsbane, I'd at least send in a scout and go see if there's anything, you know, anything building up at the entrance here. You know, practically nothing. You don't know what's going to be in this bunker when you send a scout, though. So the thing about the warp gates here is, look, he had 600 minerals set up, saved up there. He could have pumped in just a few zealots and just pushed right back. You know, a guy's not going to push in like that push there by Zoku. You could tell he was trying to end the game with that push, and it's pretty rare that somebody's going to be holding back any significant army. And of course, Terran can't just warp in units like Protoss can. So you know that he can only have at most 4 or 5 barracks. So when you get there with your 10 units, he might only have 10 units, and you've got the advantage of attacking with, you know, all stalkers, whereas he's gonna be pumping out a mixture of Marines and Marauders. So here we go. Poking his head over here. I guess that's a battle that he doesn't want to fight. Unfortunately, loses a stalker, and I don't know what that little bit of micro was, but he got caught by the concussive shell, which is never something that you want to happen to your stalker, because generally they're speedy little guys. They're going to get away unless something like that happens. Continuing to warp in stalkers. I think Shadowsbane really likes to just keep a mass stalker over anything else, because, you know, when you mix in zealots and sentries and things like that, you know, you can't just micro the whole group, because your stalkers are gonna be faster than your zealots and your sentries, and they're gonna get left behind, and then you end up losing a whole bunch of minerals to your army getting separated. He's got a few zealots coming in here. Let's take a look at the production tab. I mean, in the income tab, we see that it's like, you know, 1,400 units to 960. A little bit of a Reaper rush there that, well, not rush, a little bit of Reaper harassment was attempted. I guess probably just trying to get a peek inside the main base with that Reaper. He knew he wasn't going to do too much damage. So Shadowsbane holds it off, and he just has 2 Immortals pop in after the Reaper died. So that's something that Zoku's not going to see. It'll be a little surprising, I think, when he attacks, that there's a couple Immortals out. But, you know, double robotics, I guess he should expect some Marauders if he ever some Immortals if he ever chooses to push out with that many Marauders. Not too much in the way of units here. We've got 51 probes to 31 SCVs. Zoku's problem in this game is that he does not continue to pump SCVs past, like, he got to 30 and just stopped. He's producing purely Marines and Marauders, and look at this, he's got 1,200 minerals banked, even a Ghost in there. I don't know if he's got anything researched for the Ghost. Let's try to find that. Yeah, he doesn't really have anything researched for the Ghost.